All right, everyone. I am going to go ahead and do quite a long update video here. And for the actual footage that you're seeing, this is an interaction earlier today between a male Blackbelt Cichlid and a female Tenshi hybrid that I'm looking to breed together. Pretty cool pairing, actually. Black belts are one of the largest Viejas, and the Tenshi is a Vieja crossed with a rainbow. So we have dwarfing genes involved, but also gigantic black belt genes. But as you can see here, this Tenshi is not small, so not likely to see a whole lot of dwarf fry. Certainly still possible, and that's sort of the hope. But we'll see what we get when and if they lay eggs. This is one of those projects that's going to be a little bit longer term. Black belts tend to reduce color and pearling in the early generations, especially F1 and F2. Looking at, obviously, once I hit this cross, it would probably go back cross to Tenshi or something else to help reduce the overall black belt influence while still maintaining that some of the positive traits we can get out of it. Moving along, as you can tell, the Tenshi female is extremely boisterous and aggressive. Well, maybe not aggressive, maybe not the best word for it, but she's pushing her weight around the tank. She's got the black belt at the top of the water right now. I do not recommend keeping your fish together if they're interacting like this. I'm actively in the room watching them when this happens. That way, if things do turn to actual over-aggression or physical aggression, I can re-cage the female. So I'm in here directly watching, and I actually debate putting a cage in a few times during this interaction. But as you can tell, even now, the black belt's starting to get a little bit more confident. And that is why I let them continue this for about 8 minutes or 9 minutes is what this went on for. So I have a male Tenshi as well. He is very small. He is dwarfed. And both him and this gigantic female Tenshi are extremely difficult to get to breed. Obviously, rainbows themselves are extremely difficult to breed. And what we're finding is that these rainbow hybrids continue that trend of being difficult to hybridize. Rainbows are actually very easy to breed pure, but extremely difficult to hybridize. And so both Tenshis that I have, the male and the female, are extremely difficult to hybridize. Unfortunately. But we'll get it done. The Tenshi was a creation by Hugh Hoffman. It's an absolutely fantastic hybrid, by the way. It's a rainbow with a red spot. So that's that yellow one in there. Anyway, moving forward, I have a lot of other neat projects going on right now. I have another Vieja project with the Diablo Super Its and Spillums. Unfortunately, I had hundreds and hundreds of F2 fry, but the mom and dad ate them. So I separated that pair for now. I'll rebreed them again later. I have a couple fry left, maybe like 8. Yeah, I know, not a whole lot. But I have the male with a gold jaguar, and I have the female with a regular jaguar. So that opens up a lot of possibilities. Parachromis, Vieja crosses look really, really nice, and Diablo Super Reds and Spillums are very, very high ceiling fish. So that could result in some incredible fry, and of course bringing that gold gene over and being able to get visual golds and F2s will be absolutely stunning. So I think obviously that project is going to be bigger long-term and more lucrative long-term than this one. This one is a bit more of a passion project. But what's neat is when we start to have a lot of these projects, you can filter out genes that you want by breeding out generations, and then you can cross them into the things that you do want, and being able to utilize the genes that you're actually looking for instead of fighting all the genes that you don't want. So making these crosses and breeding them out as far as you can does actually help, even if it's maybe not the most... Whoops, accidentally pressed stop. If you've made it this far, great work. Basically what I'm saying is, if you have a lot of passion projects where you're like, hey, I want to cross this fish with that fish, and then you breed it out a few generations, and you're picking the best looking fry and choosing for the traits that you like, you can now use that selected variety that you've made and be able to cross it into other things and get more useful results. For example, if you were to take just a regular black belt and cross it into something, some project fish, the first few generations after that black belt is introduced are going to be ugly, generally speaking. But if you have a black belt hybrid that you've bred out 4 or 5 generations and you've brought it to the point where it is a nice hybrid already, when you bring that in, it's not going to be so destructive to the project. You're going to be able to see a lot more positive results early on because you've already filtered out some of the genes that are creating the ugly traits you don't want. Anywho, that's just a little back info. And that'll kind of give you guys a little bit of idea why I have so much weird fish. Just all sorts of weird Central American cichlids that aren't used generally in hybridization. This is part of the explanation of why I have so many of those. Moving on though, so I have a Tenshi polar tiger together. I have Nanaludius, the gold convict is what they call it. It's an Amatitlania Nanaludius, and that is with a polar tiger as well. And then I have a Salvini with a yokai. Yokai is another Hugh Hoffman exclusive, if you will. And that's a Palm SRT with a Depi cichlid. So at this point with the interaction between the black belt and the Tenshi, I was feeling a little bit nervous, so I started watching a bit more closely. And even though the male black belt was absolutely getting a little bit more confident and trying to push his weight around, that Tenshi had already nipped his tail a few times and split his tail. So for now, we recage the female and continue to do water changes and lots of feeding. Hopefully get them ready so they think it's breeding season. Enjoy the rest of the video and make sure to follow Gnome Grown Aquatics and myself. Thanks, guys.